Welcome students. Welcome to the new lecture of English Language and Literature Code 184 CBSE Class 10 syllabus of the first term. I have already uploaded the videos for the poetries which are the part of first term. Kindly look for those videos. It would be very beneficial for you if you watch those videos. That would definitely help you to score better. And I have also uploaded one video for the writing skills, that is formal letter, where MCQs will be asked. Now today I'm starting with the literature, very first chapter of First Flight, that is A Letter to God. Let's go with it. A Letter to God by G.L. Fuentes. So as the title is telling you that the protagonist means the main character of the story, whose name is Lencho, is going to write a letter to God. Now you would be thinking, how is it possible? It is possible only because of the immense faith of Lencho in God. Fine. I think the title is clear to everyone. Let's move forward. So this is the slide which is telling you that what is the story discussing about. The story discusses the power of innocent faith in God by a man and how is able to accomplish his want through it. So the story is telling you the innocent faith. The man is really innocent. His innocent faith, and he has immense faith in God, and he wants to accomplish whatever he wants through that faith. But the story ends in an irony. Irony means when something opposite happens, what is expected. So let us see how is the end ironic. The story talks about Lencho. As I have already told you, that Lencho is the protagonist of the story, or we can say that he is the main character of the story, and he is a farmer boy profession. And what is the basic quality of him? That he has immense faith in God. So this is the story all about faith in God. Let us find out how. But before starting and getting into the chapter, we have to go with the vocabulary. Okay. The vocabulary words, I have created a table over here. Crest. Crest means the top of a mountain. So this crest, on the crest, we had Lencho's house there. Downpour is the name for rain. Intimately means a close relationship. Supper, the evening food or an evening meal. God willing, by the grace of God. To regard, to consider something important. Draped is covered with. Contentment is a kind of a satisfaction. Amiable, we say that, we use this word for the person who is really friendly. Correspondence means communicating with one or the other one through the medium of letters or something else. Resolution, every year we take a resolution that this year I'm taking this resolution. We take a firm decision, though we fail to pay to keep our promises, but still we resolve every year. Charity, if you are helping somebody with money who are in need. Deed means a work done, a noble act, a deed, a brave act. Wrinkling, wrinkling here in the chapter means that when you are thinking something and doing something, so you would find wrinkles on your forehead. That wrinkling has been used here. Next, I'm moving to plague is a kind of an infectious disease or might be in the large number. Solitary means only one. Instructed means which is taught. Conscience means the inner sense. Daybreak, dawn, you know, dawn, early morning, dusk, late evenings. Peso, peso is a currency. Shower, it's drizzle. Shower means drizzling of rain, small droplets of rain falling from the sky. So, planting the seeds. Lick, we lick ice cream when we enjoy. So, licking, just to lick something with your touching something with your tongue. Affix means to attach something. Blow, to give a hard hit to somebody. You might have heard about blows given to him by him, a hard hit on his face. Bunch, a group. Crooks are dishonest people or criminals, we can say. Shower, we have already done, that has been repeated by mistake. Heartily, that means loudly. Or let's go with the next slide over now. Okay, now we will start with the explanation of the chapter. Okay, The chapter opens with this line: the house, the only one in the entire valley. So this Lencho was living in the only house in the entire valley. In the complete valley, he had only one. That his house was the only one. It was sitting on the crest of the low hill. Crest means, I have already shown you the top of the hill. It was the only house on the top of the hill. From this height, one could see the river and field of ripe corn. So it was on the top, from the top of that house, from the top where the house was, one could see the river and the corn field, which is dotted with flowers. Dotted with flowers means that you know that there are the stages for the crops to grow. So now, before the crops, the flowers were there in the complete field, which promises that there would be good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour. Downpour is rain. The earth only needed, the fields only needed a downpour, or at least a shower. Shower means the drizzle of rain, small droplets of rain, few droplets of rain. Throughout the morning, Lencho, and whose field was it? It was the field of Lencho only. Okay. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Now, throughout the morning, he has been watching his fields, and he knows that his fields need water, and he loved his fields intimately. He had a strong bond with his fields, and he was doing nothing, but he was looking at the sky towards the northeast direction because he was expecting rain to have a good harvest. Now we are really going to get some water women, and he could see the clouds in the sky, and he told to his wife that we are going to get some water, some rain. The woman who was preparing supper replied, "Yes, God willing. Yes, it is the will of God." So Lencho's wife replied that, "Okay, it is the God willing that we are going to get rain." And Lencho had some children also. The older boys were working in the field at that time, and the smaller ones were playing near the house until the women called to them all. So what were everyone doing? What was everyone doing in the home? Lencho was just looking at the sky and expecting for a good rain. Elder children were working in the fields. Younger children were playing outside the house. Okay. Now the women, that means Lencho's wife, is calling everybody to have dinner because the supper was ready. Okay. Okay. Next line. It was during the meal. What is that? Let me go. Okay, wait a minute. Let me move to the next slide. It was during the meal, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. Now he had expected that the rain is about to, the rain was approaching. So when they sat to have their dinner, as he had predicted means as he had hoped for, the rain started. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching, and he could see that more clouds are approaching and it would lead to more rain. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. He went out, he left his food, he just went out. He knew that his fields badly need water, badly need rain. He went out just to have the pleasure of feeling the raindrops on his body. Next, and when he returned, he exclaimed, he was extremely happy to experience that pleasure of having the droplets on his body. And he came back and said, "They are new coins. They aren't the raindrops falling from the sky. These are not the water droplets which are falling from the sky. These are the coins. These are the money. Because this rain is going to give a good harvest to my fields, and then after selling the crops, I would be earning good amount of money. So these are not the water droplets, these are the new coins." And he's comparing, the big drops of water are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5. You can see how is he standing here and waiting for the rain. Fine. Okay, we move to the next paragraph. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. Now he was really satisfied because he wanted rain and rain was there. So he regarded that the ripe corn that he had grown there with its flowers is draped means covered with a curtain of rain. That every flower, every corn that is about to grow there is happy with the water falling on them. But suddenly, a a strong wind began to blow. This was the sad part. And along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. Now, when he was just watching outside, watching his fields, enjoying the raindrops, he saw that strong wind has started to blow. And along with the wind, the hailstones started to fall. Hailstone are the frozen pearls, or the frozen water. I'm sorry, frozen water. Okay. We can say ole in Hindi. Okay. What happened then? These truly did resemble new silver coins. He was comparing those water droplets with new coins. But now he's comparing these hailstones with silver coins. And the boys also could not control their excitement. They went out in rain to collect those frozen pearls. Now those hailstones has been called frozen pearls. They have been compared to frozen pearls. Okay. It is really getting bad now. Lencho could expect that if so much of hailstones would be there, his field would be destroyed, though children were enjoying. He said that it is getting bad now. I hope it passes quickly. It should run away quickly. The rain should stop now. But it did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. That means it kept on raining, it kept on hailstoning. The hail were falling down, the hailstones were falling down on the house, on the fields, on the hillside, on the cornfield for a complete hour. The field was white, and he could see that so much of hailstones had fallen down that every part of the field was covered with frozen pearls. That means hailstones, as if they were covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. It was so bad that there were no leaves on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. He was extremely sad now. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, now he is standing over here and he is telling to his son, everything has been destroyed. So, what is he telling? Let's see on the next page. A plague of locusts might have left more than this. Now, what is locust? Locusts are the kind of insects. They attack in group at the crop, at the harvest, and they destroy the complete grown crops. So he's saying when he was standing at the middle of the field, when it was not raining anymore, when he had seen that his all crops had been destroyed, he was talking to his children and he was saying that if a plague of locusts must have attacked, if the insects might have attacked my fields, the hail has left nothing this year. We will have no corn. If plague of locusts might have attacked my field, I would have left with something. But this hailstorm has destroyed every part of the crop. We are going to get hungry this year. That night definitely was a sorrowful one. Everybody would feel sorrow if this would happen to one's field. All our work for nothing. He was saying this, that I did so much work, my kids did so much work, it went on, it went in vain. There is no one who can help us. Who would help? This is the nature. How would he fight against nature? And he was saying we will go hungry this year. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house, in that solitary house, Lencho was living with his wife and children. So, and it was a solitary house, it was a lonely house on that hill. There was one hope left in the hearts. Fine. And what was that? There was a single hope, help from God. As he had immense faith in God, he was thinking that God might help him. Don't be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. These thoughts are of Lencho only. He has been speaking to himself. Don't be so upset. No need to be upset. Though this seems to be that the complete thing has been destroyed, but no one dies of hunger. God would give me food, give my family and me food in one or the other way. That is why he's again thinking. That is why they say means people say no one dies of hunger. Therefore, the people are so confident in saying so because everybody know that God is there to help you. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, that is the help of God. Now he was complete night thinking that the God is going to help him, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything as he had been told, since his childhood that God can see everything. Fine. Even what is deep in one's conscience. Conscience means inner, deep feelings. If somebody is thinking something and not exposing it, not telling it to anyone, then also God can make out that what that person is thinking about. So it has been instructed to him that God can see anything. Lencho was an ox of a man. Lencho was a very hardworking man. Ox of a man means he was a very hardworking man. He used to work like an animal in his fields, but still he was literate. He knew how to write. So the next Sunday, whatever the Sunday was approaching there, at daybreak, as it was morning, as it was early morning time, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to the town and place it in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. He decided that he is going to write a letter, and in the letter, he would be asking God to help him, and he would definitely post the letter by himself by going to the post office. Okay, let us see what is there on the next slide. And what did he write in the letter? Let's see that. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. He is addressing this to God. God, you need to help me. If you won't help me, my family will go hungry this year. So you need to help me out. I need 100 pesos. I told you pesos. Oh, pesos was not discussed. Pesos also the currency. Okay, I need some coins. Currency, which was used in Latin American countries later on, earlier. Fine. So what happened? So he's saying that I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again. I want to sow my field. So I need 100 pesos and to live until the crop comes. And I have to survive till the time the next crop grows. It is not a day, sorry, it is not a task of a day that you are sowing the seeds in the morning and in the evening you would have a good harvest. It would take months. So he's saying that I need 100 pesos to buy new seeds, and I need to survive my family. I have to support my family till my crops grow. Okay. Okay, and live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm, he gave the description also which is not told to us, that because of the hailstorm my crops are destroyed or something like that. He wrote that. Okay, so main thing was he's saying that send me 100 pesos. He wrote to God in the envelope, put the letter inside, and still trouble went to the town. He put that letter in the envelope. On the envelope, he did not know the address of God. He just wrote to God, and he was still troubled. Troubled about what? Troubled about this thing that his crops have been destroyed. So he was troubled and he went to the town. And where was he heading? He was going to the post office. He placed a stamp on the letter. See how much faith he has. Can we expect that we would be writing a letter to God and God is going to listen to us? He has such an immense faith that he is writing a letter, he is buying the stamp, he is affixing the stamp on it, and he is dropping the letter in the mailbox, in the letter box. Now, you know that one of the employees who was a postman, also helped in the post office, went to the boss, laughing heartily, and showed him the letter to God. Now, what happened? You know that the postman's duty is what? Just he opens the letterbox, he takes out all the letters. They segregate the letter according to their addresses, to where they are sent. So when he found this letter to God, he was laughing and he brought this letter to postmaster, and he showed him that this is the letter which has been written to God, what I have to do with it. And he was laughing heartily. Okay. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. He's saying, I do not know the address. Please tell me what I have to do. He is just taking the hint from postmaster that what is to be done with the letter. The postmaster, who was a fat, amiable means friendly, who was a friendly fellow, also broke out laughing. He also started laughing. When he looked at the letter, not the letter, envelope addressed to God, he started laughing. But almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk, commented, what faith! I wish I had the faith of a man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God. He was laughing, but at once he got serious. He turned serious. He tapped the letter on the table. Tap means threw the letter on the table. He produced a sound by throwing the letter on the table. He's saying that what a faith. The man who is writing this letter, he's starting the communication with God. He has such an immense faith. And he's saying, I wish I had such faith. Fine. So let us see what happens then. Let's move to the next one. So, in order to not to shake the writer's faith in God, they did not want to shake writer's faith in God. The postmaster came up with an idea. And what was that idea? Postmaster came out with an idea. He decided something. What he did, answer the letter. He decided that after opening the letter, I'm going to answer back the letter. But he did not know this thing, that after opening the letter, he would come to know that he needed money also to reply the letter. So might he change his decision? Let's find out what he does. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than the goodwill. When he opened the letter, he could make out that only replying the letter was not enough, because he needed something else also. Okay, something more than goodwill, ink or paper. Ink, he was only thinking that he would be using pen and reply the letter, but he did not know that the letter was asking about the money also. But he stuck to his resolution. But what he had decided, he decided that he is going to follow it. That means he is going to reply the letter. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave the part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. Now, what happened? He asked the post office employees to share some. He himself shared some part of the money from his salary, from his friends, from his relatives. So he asked everybody to give some money for this charity. Charity means, charity is a kind of a money which is given to a needy person. And everyone was happy to help a needy man. Okay. It was impossible for him to gather together 100 pesos. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. So it had, though he collected the money from everybody, but still it became impossible for him to collect 100 pesos. So he could only collect more than half. Okay, more than 50. That means more than 50 pesos. We do not know how much could he collect. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature, God. So he put that money in the envelope, and with only one letter on the letter, God, as a signature that God has sent it. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was the postman who himself handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Now, the following Sunday, Lencho came to the post office to collect a letter. He was expecting that God would have sent a reply to him. So, the postman who had brought the letter to the postmaster gave the reply to the letter to him himself. And postmaster also wanted to see the reaction of Lencho when he would get the money. He was experiencing that contentment, that satisfaction. You know that whenever you are doing a good deed, you always feel a contentment, a satisfaction. So he was feeling that satisfaction, and he wanted to see the reaction of Lencho also. So let us see what was happening. Okay. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. So Lencho took out that money, and he did not show the surprise. If I am writing a letter to God and I am getting the money in reply, I would be definitely shocked, and I would be thinking that some nice person might have sent the money. I, because I know that this is not possible. But he was not showing the slightest surprise. He knew that, okay, God might have sent it. Such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. He became angry. God could not have made a mistake, or nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. He was thinking, God cannot make mistake. I asked for 700 pesos, and this money is less. He was thinking and thinking. He's saying, God cannot do that. God cannot say no to what I am requesting. Immediately, Lencho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. He went to the window because he wanted to write the next letter. He requested for a paper and ink or a pen from there. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow, caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. Now he was expressing his ideas into the letter when he was writing the next letter to God, and there was wrinkling on his brow. There were wrinkles on his forehead, on his brow, eyebrow, because when he was writing, he was thinking deeply and writing. So the expressions were seen on his face. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stem, which he licked and then affixed. Now, again, he took the stem, he licked it. You know that there is a gum there at the back of the stem. If you would touch it with the water, So you can paste it on the letter. So he did the same thing. He licked it. He did not use the water. He licked it. So what happened now? And he put that with a blow of fist on the letter. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, he put the letter into the mailbox, and the postmaster himself went to open it. And what was written there? God, of the money that I had asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. I asked for 100 pesos, but only 70 pesos has reached me. Send me the rest. Please send me the rest of the money. That means 100 pesos. And since I need it badly, but don't send it me through the mail, because the post office employees are the bunch of crooks. This is the most important line. He had written that, God, I had asked for 100 pesos, but you have only sent 70 pesos to me. Send the rest of the money, and do not send the money through post office, because the post office employees are bunch of criminals. They are a group of dishonest people. They have stolen my money. I know that you have sent 100 pesos, but these 30 pesos have been taken by these post office employees. Now I think you can understand that what is the irony in the story. Irony is that what is expected, opposite happens. The post office employees are the benefactors of Lencho. They are the one who have helped Lencho. But what have they been called? They have been called a bunch of dishonest people, a group of criminals. Okay, this was the end of the story. So let us see some of the MCQs question from the text. This is the RTC based, extract based. So this extract is given. There are 5 questions to it. I hope you would be able to answer them, but let's go with it. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn, dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing but see the sky towards the northeast. So this is the very first paragraph of the text. Based on the detail of the house location, how can it best be described? So how can you say, what can you say about the location of the house? It is majestic, very beautiful, very big, imposing, good, solitary, alone, unique, different from anybody. It would be C part. The field of corn dotted with flowers. What does it mean? Not a single flower was bigger than a dot. The flowers were scattered across. The flowers were in the shape like dots. The flower had shrunk in size. No, it would be again B part. I'm moving to the next one. Lencho wished for a downpour. This is the same RTC. The next question. Lencho wished for a downpour or a heavy shower. Pick the option that correctly lists the correct match for the kinds of rain. So we have to match it, then we have to find the option. So heavy rain means this. It's coming down quite strong and you get very wet very quickly. Thunderstorm means this one. It is a violent, short-lived weather disturbance associated with lightning, thunder, strong gusty winds. Drizzle means the first one, light rain that falls in very fine drops. Torrential rain is the second one, very heavy rain, or the tropical rain we can call it. And downpour means really heavy rain that comes very suddenly. So according to this match, our D part would be the correct one. Fine. So I'm moving to the next one. Okay. Again, the same RTC. The next question. Let's go with it. Based on the given extract, what is Lencho not likely to think while looking at his field? So what is he not thinking? Be careful about the questions where not is written. The first is, such a blessing, God, thank you. He might be thinking this. Just a downpour, God, and everything will be perfect. He is thinking that. All set for the good harvest, I'm going to be rich. Hmm? I wish we have enough food to eat after this harvest. He might be thinking this, but not the C part. So what would be the option? C part would be the option. Okay. Okay. I'm moving ahead, erasing it. Okay. The next question from the same extract. Which quote supports the idea in the given extract? First, farming is a profession of hope. Second, I would rather be on my farm than be emperor of the world. See, better, farming is a profession of hope does not make any sense. I would Rather be on my farm than be emperor of the world. I would not be the emperor, but I would be working in the farm. Does not make any sense. Farming looks mighty easy when your pluff is a pencil and you are 1,000 miles from the cornfield. When you are just writing about farming, it seems to be easy, but it is a tedious job. Those too lazy to pluff in the right season will have no food at the harvest. This is the correct one. D part is the correct answer. Okay. Now, you know that other than extract, you get direct questions also. How much money was the postmaster able to arrange? He was able to arrange 70 pesos. Why was Lencho not surprised on seeing the money in the envelope? He was too sad to acknowledge it. He had unwavering faith in God. He was an ungrateful man, or none of the above. So B part is the correct because he had unwavering faith. So he was not surprised. How did he feel when he counted the money? How was he feeling? Grateful, joyful, relieved, or angry? He was angry. What did Lencho think of the post office employees? That they are bunch of crooks. Okay, we have already done that in the text also. Last question. What is the irony in the story? Irony in the lesson. Lencho was sad after the hailstorm, even though he was the one waiting for a shower. So this is right in context to the story, but this is not the ironical thing. Postmaster laughed at Lencho but still helped arrange money for him. No. Lencho blamed the post office employees who in fact helped him. This is irony. There is no irony. This is also the wrong option. Fine. So this was the last question for the day. Hopefully you have understood it. See beta, look, check the video again. If you have any issue, do the MCQs yourself. Then you can go for the answers. So what was the theme of the story? Extreme faith in the Almighty means God can give you a ray of hope, even in the darkest time. So always have faith in God and always be happy. Do like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you, kids. We'll meet in the next video.